What we have here is a pane. It's called pane anglaise, which is seasoned flour, egg wash, and it's got my little tip in there, touch of Worcester sauce, which is just going to add a little bit of spice to the goujons. Breadcrumbs that have been passed so they're nice and fine, and then goujons. We're going to go through two methods here. One's called single pane, one's called a double pane. The double pane will give you a crisper and more rounded exterior. The single pane will give you perhaps a thinner layer of crisp when it gets deep fried. You decide which one you want to use. So the first process is roll the goujons in flour. Now a small tip, just roll them to take the edges off. It gives them a nice round edge. So that's the first job. Another little tip, I've got two pair of gloves on, so I've double gloved for the simple reason, once my hand goes into the egg wash, then into the breadcrumbs, I'm going to have breaded fingers. So I just take the first layer of gloves off, I've got a clean set of gloves, and then I can finish the preparation without getting lumps of breadcrumbs on the goujons. If you want to make a smaller cut of goujon, it's called a goujonette, which can be used as canapes or a smaller mousse. So, as you can see, well coated in flour. Nicely coated in egg wash, not too much. Every now and again, just give them a little shake with the dry hand to make sure they're separate. If you're doing this preparation for meat, it would be called an aiguillette. And the reason why it's called an aiguillette, it's almost eel shape. If you're using pastry, you call it an allumette, which is matchsticks. The last one. I'm going to take this glove off. I've got two dry gloves. Half of these will be single pane. I'm going to roll the breadcrumbs into the flesh of the fish. As you can see, clean hands. Now with the double pane preparation, it doesn't need to go back through the seasoned flour because the protection of the flour is already on the fish. Straight back in the breadcrumbs. And when we cook these, we'll see a big difference in the presentation of both. Gloves off. This is also a cost-saving tip. If you have thin fillets of fish, for example plaice, and you wanted to make them look bigger for presentation purposes, double pane is the way to go. So we have here in front goujons, single pane, double pane. Okay, now we have both goujons, one double pane, one single pane. We're going to deep fry them. Lift the fryer basket up. Place the goujons in carefully. Don't overcrowd the fryer. If you overcrowd the fryer, the temperature drops, the product steams, the coating comes off, and you've got a mess in the fryer. Portion by portion. So what we're looking at here is about 45 seconds to a minute, and that's it. Fish cooks very, very quickly. Now the bubbles you can see coming up out of the fryer is the water evaporating out of the product you're putting in. One of the main reasons why we coat fish for deep frying is to protect the flesh itself. Otherwise the flesh would become flaky, break up and drop into the fryer. Okay, we're nearly there. It's been in there for about 40 seconds. It's starting to be nice and golden brown. Okay, carefully ease the goujons out. Have a draining tray ready, and then carefully place on the draining tray. Okay, now whilst I'm seasoning and dressing these goujons, I'm putting the double pane goujons in the fryer spoon. Okay, a little bit of salt. Goujons are a classic, but still today they are beautiful. Now you'll see a thicker crust on the double pane. They look bigger already. You're going to add about 20 seconds onto the single pane goujons to the double pane goujons to cook through. Okay, we're nearly there now. And you'll hear a difference in the fryer. That crackling noise and the proteins in the fish starting to shrink and forcing out some of the liquid that's in the fish already. Now that means that it sounds like there's water gone into the fryer, and it is water going into the fryer, but that's from the fish proteins. So at that point, they're ready to be lifted. Excess oil, draining tray. Some seasoning. Now as you can see already, they look bigger, there's more coating on there, and they have a smoother appearance. There we are, goujons of salt.